my name's Farah Qaiser. I'm a member of the Chief Science Advisor's Youth Council. Today, I want to talk a bit about genomics and how it's playing an important role in understanding the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID-19. Similar to how DNA in our cells can code for different proteins, there is also genetic material called RNA found in the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Each time the virus enters a new cell and replicates, its genetic material also needs to be copied. It's here that errors can creep in, introducing changes like typos into the viral genome. These errors are called mutations, and it's by tracking these mutations that we can better understand COVID-19. One of the ways that scientists in Canada are doing this is through the CanCoGen network, which is led by Génome Canada, in partnership with the 6 regional genome centers, national and provincial public health labs, genome sequencing centers through CGen, hospitals, universities, and the private sector. So what is CanCoGen? I spoke to Dr. Catalina Lopez Correa, who is the executive director of the network.
So is the Canadian COVID genomics network. And basically what we're doing is we have an overall objective of sequencing 150,000 viral genomes and 10,000 human genomes.
CanCoGen was launched on 23rd April 2020, in the very early days of the pandemic. How was this speed possible? That's the question I asked Dr. Rob Annan, the president and CEO of Génome Canada.
The main driver in terms of the response and the speed of the response was actually the scientific community. This was really like a grassroots effort. So when COVID-19 started appearing in the media, a lot of scientists across the country sort of asked themselves, well, what can I do, right? What can I do to help? And genomics certainly has lots of ways it can intersect with the pandemic. The 2 big ones, one is at viral sequencing and looking at mutations in the virus and using that for track and trace and surveillance, as well as vaccine development. So the speed was really driven by the community, but it's also a reflection of the kind of the work and the investment that's happened over the last 20 years. So this is actually Génome Canada's 20th anniversary this year. And we like to say that this response was 20 years in the making. It really was investments in infrastructure, technology, and especially the researchers, the people that gave us the opportunity to respond really quickly. So it's a bit of a lesson in why we invest in science.
Now, this approach of sequencing virus and human genomes is being seen across the world, where tracking changes in the virus RNA can help us track outbreaks and better understand why COVID-19 is more severe in certain individuals. But as you can imagine, a few challenges can pop up when you're sequencing thousands of genomes, including data sharing and ensuring equity, diversity, and inclusion when deciding which human genomes to sequence.
Personally, want to really push as much as we can to ensure we have equity, diversity, and inclusion as part of CanCoGen. We are now in discussions with groups, First Nation and Indigenous peoples, one project in particular that's called the Silent Genomes, and also different representatives from the Indigenous groups across Canada and minorities, to make sure that this is not, well, yet another large-scale genomic study that's focusing on white Caucasian representation. And that's, I would say, that's not only a problem in Canada, it's a problem across the globe.
These are just some of the challenges that the field of genomics will continue to face in the coming years. So that leaves the question, what role can the youth in Canada play in genomics?
So I would really encourage young scientists, whatever their field of study, to think about kind of a genomics lens, because I think that there's this intersection of life sciences with other areas is going to be important. But it goes way beyond that. I think that the world is changing, the world is shifting. I really believe that, we're going to think about a lot of systems differently 20, 30 years from today because of the technologies being developed. And then, even beyond the professional applications, a certain amount of literacy, genomic literacy, is going to be important for everybody, because never mind issues around things like, GMOs. When we start to get into thorny ethical issues around new therapeutics, right? It's going to be big societal conversations. What are we prepared to do? This is going to be a conversation that involves everybody. So I think it's important for young people to become aware of it so that they can participate in shaping the future.